have opened. The games have begun. War is imminent. This is the war. This is the war. Drug war, but it's the type of war that you don't need guns for.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon, as the case may be. Wherever you are joining us from, welcome to one of the most, one of the most desired, exciting, built up and fun episodes of Drug Wars and the recap that has been. Welcome, Mr. Brooke Howard-Smith and Arlo Eisenberg. How are you, gentlemen?
And sod off, Acro. Get out of here.
Sod off, Acro. It's very
Another
early.
great start, Trev.
Another great start, yes. I
We're
am
inhaling
producing the
this.
show today, so it's all on me. Good stuff. And there it is. Acro, how we see him. There's a little bit of alpha for all the people out there who wonder, we still don't know who this man is. He's been working with us for months now, and that's all we see whenever we have our internal meetings and whenever we get together with Acro. You've just seen what we see. There it is.
Mysterious.
Okay. It is mysterious.
And happy birthday, Brooke.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy birthday to Brooke. No, we won't go into and do all of that. But yes, another year older, another year. What did they say?
So people are already commenting on the hat. It's because it's very early morning here on Waiheke. Oh, actually, I'm on a boat to Waiheke, car ferry. So I'm sitting in my car, and I just thought, why not just really glitz it up? It's a birthday kind of hat thing. So yeah, done.
So is there any alpha relating to that? Is there a trade drop coming? Is there anything like that people should be aware of? Are we about to send cowboy fluffs into the stratosphere?
Hard to say. Hard to say.
Hard to say.
Well, good morning, guys. Now, listen, because it was my birthday in New Zealand yesterday, it's my birthday in the US today, which is why Arlo is so excited about the whatever incredible surprise he's got for me. But what it means is that 24 hours I've been away from drug receipts. And so this update is really going to be useful for me because I didn't even get to vote yesterday. So,
that could have been the decider.
Are you serious? I couldn't wait. Can I cast a late vote now? I was all tech down yesterday, and I thought I'd just appreciate life in the slow lane. It was lovely. It was glorious. But yeah, so today's update is going to be really useful for me.
Well, you and me both, Brooke, because little do the viewers know, well, they probably do know by now, but I woke up about 10 minutes ago and went straight into live, hence the rocky start that we got off to. Okay, rock and roll start, yes. Nothing like a little bit of a glimpse of the mighty creative heavyweight that is Acrothetics. All right, Arlo, how are you feeling today? You seem a little bit better on the mend.
Yeah, I'm doing a little bit better. I mean, I'm definitely still sick, but yesterday I think was probably the worst of it. So better from here, hopefully.
Did you get sick at the tattoo parlor?
Uh-oh.
It's a likely place, right?
No, in fact, I think I was getting sick before I went to the tattoo parlor. I actually took a mask with me and I told him, I said, when I woke up this morning, my throat was feeling a little off. Yeah. So
have you been tested? Is it something we know about? Monkeypox? Is it monkeypox?
I haven't been tested. I have 2 home COVID kits. I could take one. Honestly,
let's do one live on the air later on. Let's do it. Does Arlo have COVID or not?
Do you remember back in 2022 when we all had that COVID thing?
I just want to take time out to say hi to Nicely. I thought it'd be great if Nicely started getting all of your things taken down for copyright. Like if he just started. They just started like complaining.
That'd
be cool.
Yeah,
Jerry. Like, or just start sending you a bill. Selena, lovely to see you. D-Dat, great to see you in here as well.
Yes, it seems to everybody jumps on the let's block drug receipts. So why not Nicely?
Done.
All right. Okay.
Ransom.
Ransom. All right. Shall we get into because there's a lot to get through on the show today. There's a few things that we will have for everybody later on, including the big boss announcements and also the first round of boss battles, the matchups that will be, and people will get to see their boss cards for the first time live here on the show. So that's pretty exciting stuff, really, when you think about it. So let's have a look at what happened over the last 24 hours, and I will try not to cry as we look through these matchups. So Babes in Blue took on 3 Gregs and a Karen. Blue Angels had a crack at Serenity Prayer. 4 Eyes of Oz went up against Pinkies in the Brain, and Make Love Not War had a domestic dispute with High Day the 13th. And it will be interesting to know how that battle unfolded for the household. Okay. The winner of match 1. Let's get that over and done with. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Babes in Blue. Well, I wouldn't say destroyed, but definitely triumphed over 3 Gregs and a Karen. And there it is. The bounty.
I'd say that. I think destroyed is the word. Is that right?
Well, there is a lightning bolt through the card, and it's all red, so that's not a pleasant sight. That is not the graphic that I was hoping to see this morning when I woke up. However, it's nice to see that there was a bounty on my head, and that has been won by the team owner of Babes in Blue. We could dox these people surely by now. Yes, our backstage voice box is saying annihilated is the right word to use there. Yeah. What was the score in the end, Arlo? Because I haven't seen any of these scores since I have only just woken up.
Well, in today's matchups, actually, there are some annihilations. I wouldn't categorize this as one of them. The score was 88 for Babes in Blue against 71 for 3 Gregs and a Karen.
That's still an ass kicking. Let's be fair.
And what's the bounty? What are they taking away there, guys? A gun?
Crypto Walker's weapon. Yep.
Oh, that's great. I do not have a Crypto Walker's gun, so I'd like to buy one of those. Great.
You could probably get one from Babes in Blue sometime within the next little while.
Brilliant.
Yes. Well, I think the community has spoken, right? There's a matchup that is almost as hotly anticipated as the other matchup that we talk about often here. So it was interesting to see. I kind of knew I was up against it. I went hard with the propaganda, but to no avail. So congratulations to the team owner of Babes in Blue for putting up a strong fight, and I couldn't have lost to a better snuggler.
Done.
So we're announcing the last of the division winners here, and all these winners go on and will face a boss. That will be our final 8 competitors. But after the boss rounds, those final 8 competitors are going to face off in the quarterfinal rounds. And each one of the quarterfinals is shaping up to be something like with its own, narrative, its own line of intrigue. And we'll get into that a little bit after we go through all the winners. But yeah, as you're hinting at there, Trevor, some really interesting matchups are shaping up for the next round after the bosses.
Look, it just gets better and better, this game. It really does. I love me some Drug Wars. Okay, let's have a look at the second matchup and how things transpired. With Blue Angels taking down Serenity Prayer in a pretty convincing round. What was the scores on this one, please? Arlo.
Well, right. So for just point of reference, I mentioned that your last one, Trevor, you can take comfort knowing that it wasn't the biggest blowout. I didn't think it was a blowout, because when you see this score, you'll see what a blowout looks like. This is 113-43, a much more decisive margin of victory there. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better about your matchup.
Not really,
but the results of this thing.
You only need to lose by 1 point to lose in Drug Wars. So a loss is a loss. And congratulations to the team owner of Blue Angels. Does that mean, if my calculations are correct, it's blue against blue?
You got it. So this is one of the matchups, right, that we thought could happen, and was very intriguing. And so, yes, now it is definitely going to happen. Blue Angels versus Babes in Blue. All blue teams, 2 notable drug snuggler community members. So, yeah, very, very interesting matchup there.
They're going to have their own blue.
I do want to say also, in Serenity Prayer's defense, because it was such a wide margin of victory. When we were looking at this thing and previewing it, I would not have guessed that it would have been that big of a blowout. I mean, I thought these two cards were pretty evenly matched. Blue Angels is a very, very good team, but I think Blue Angels also is a very, very active team owner and is good at out there, getting out there in other communities and rallying support. So if you go up against Blue Angels, you better be out there, putting work in, getting people, what's it called? Rallying the vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one. That's just going to be a big one all around. That's like a really exciting matchup for the next round. Very exciting. Although what you're saying is the next round. We're going to get there after the
bosses, correct?
Yes,
after the bosses.
next
hey,
round.
but same thing. I mean, as bosses, we're up against these teams. We're trying to take them out. So whoever Blue Angels, whatever boss is facing Blue Angels, they're going to have the same challenge, right? You got to get out there and hustle up the vote.
Mm. Yeah, the thing with the Blue Angels that I find interesting is the support is getting bigger and bigger each time they go in the battle. So they're obviously doing a wonderful job of building a following and a team network in the background. So yeah, they're going to be bringing that horde of supporters into that next battle. It's going to be a big one.
Meanwhile, everybody play nice. You're grown-ups. Let's go. Moving along, guys. Let's go.
All right.
No one's going to get to come to my party now. Let's keep going.
Okay, here we go. And Pinkies in the Brain triumphed again over, or not again, but triumphed over Four Eyes of Oz. And Arlo, how did this one shape up?
So, Pinkies in the Brain had a score of 96 against Four Eyes of Oz with a score of 60. So we will not see one of the teams from the Tyler's Trait Alliance matched up against Tyler as a boss. But Tyler's still a boss, so it remains to be seen who's going to face Tyler in the boss rounds. But congratulations to Pinkies in the Brain, which now still leaves open the possibility of another pretty interesting quarterfinal matchup.
Yes, cool. It's I don't want to say it, but the dirty laundry seems to be piling up, and I think it's about to be thrown out the window and aired for all. Okay, the final matchup of that. Brooke, are you in your car?
Yeah, having a great time. Can you hear it?
No, just every now and then I get a glimpse of what looks like a seat. All right, and the
in
final
his car on a ferry.
In his car on a ferry,
and that ferry is being airlifted to a location
via a space shuttle.
Yeah. The internet is very stable in spite of these challenging conditions. All right,
that's right.
Here we go. The final.
Oh yeah. So the team owner for Pinkies in the Brain is in the chat, and I just want to acknowledge his shout out. This was a matchup of Cap's crew against Team Tabby, and the Cap crew team took down the victory. So the Caps taking out the Tabbies in this case.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll be Caps versus Caps in the final. It's shaping up that way, really, isn't it? The Cap is definitely a very popular character. Okay, here we go. The last and final matchup for the day, or for the previous day, is... Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Nicely. Mrs. Nicely with the triumph there with Make Love, Not War, taking down High-Day the 13th. Now, I don't know what the score ended up being here, but when I went to bed last night, it looked like there was a significant message being sent to the male half of, or the patriarch of the family. Arlo, how did things finally pan out for these two?
Well, so we alluded to the fact that, Nicely winning the last round still sets up an interesting narrative for the quarterfinal. So the fact that his wife won this round by a margin of 96 to 51, so decisive, means that they will face off again in the next round, but next time she's going to match up against Pinkies and the Brain. And I'm certain that what Nicely was rooting for here was that his wife would win that round, because he knows that at some point down the road, he's going to have to take her out if he wants to win. And I know that he wants to be the good husband and be the, be supportive and all that stuff.
Sounds very condescending. This all sounds. I feel like he wouldn't be like this. He'd be like, I feel like she's got every chance of taking him out, right?
Yeah, I think that things are quiet in the
She
Nicely
does. But
household at the
I
moment.
imagine.
Very
I
quiet.
imagine that he feels like High Day the 13th was a sacrificial lamb, like a team that he didn't mind being taken out.
I see
But if he goes up against M&M's, that's going to be that's going to be
right.
all
The big
guns
boys.
blazing. Yeah.
I wonder
one.
if there'll be shit talk in that round from the Nicely persona that is the M&Ms.
Right. So
Coming
that's
in
the
against
thing.
it. Yeah.
He played this one right. He stayed out of the way. He's like, yeah, he wanted his wife
I
to
see
win
what you're
this
saying.
one.
I see what you're
We're
saying.
not going to see that version of him in future rounds. I don't think if he
Mhm.
goes up when he goes up against her again.
Yeah, he fights fierce as the M&M's team owner. He's not here to play, as they say in the ecosystem. He's not here to fluff spiders. So it'll be interesting to see if. Well, yeah. Look, I think things are going to be quiet. I think he's already made his room out in the shed for the week following that battle to make sure he can sleep comfortably, and we'll see how things unfold. But
to be fair, I don't want to make it sound like Make Love Not War won this round because Nicely let her. It is a
That's
very
what I
good
was.
team, right?
That's
And
what I was
it
trying
has
to.
a lot of support.
Yeah.
I
was
just mean
trying to
I don't think that he put up much of a fight in this round. He may still very well lose to Make Love Not War in future rounds because it's a good team in its own right, but it won't be because he's not putting up a fight.
Okay, that's good. That's where I was getting to.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay.
All right. So that brings us to the end of the round of 16. Sorry, is that the round of 32? Yes. Now we're into the round of. What am I?
No. That was round of
I got it
16.
right.
Now we're down to the final 8.
Round of 8. Yes, of course.
Yep, we're down to the final 8.
Okay.
And so let's go ahead and I want to just briefly point out after the boss rounds, because boss rounds are coming up, but I'm just going to do a quick preview of the quarterfinal matchups that are going to come up after that. We have addressed most of them right here, but they're all interesting matchups. We're going to have Serengeti out of here, going up against Freed from Addiction, 2 super heavyweights there. Will be matching up in the quarterfinals after the boss rounds. We've already mentioned that Babes in Blue now are going to go up against Blue Angels, so our all blue competition. We mentioned the house divided. So now Make Love Not War is going to go up against her husband, Pinkies in the Brain. So their 2 teams are going to meet in the quarterfinals. So it'll be a second time in a row that those 2 have faced each other, those 2 team owners. And then the epic matchup that we all dreamed of from the very beginning of this tournament, once we saw that we had the 2 different MCs dropping their Drug Wars tracks. So now it's the matchup we've all wanted to see. It's M&M's versus No Cap We at War are going to finally face each other in the quarterfinals.
Cool. Far out. Okay.
Should we orchestrate that round so that one goes last in the division? So we'll battle them out as you read out. Anyway, we can take that offline. But I really feel like there's a necessity to build towards that as the crescendo of the quarterfinals. Okay. So, with that said, let's talk about what is a highly anticipated part of Drug Wars, and that is the boss battles. We are here to announce not only one of the mystery boss bosses, but also the first 2 boss battles. This is starting to become a bit of a tongue twister for me. The first 2 boss battles of the competition. So first up in the boss battle matchups, we have this exciting round, which is Serengeti out of here taking on the Atom endorsed Roadrunner Racing team. Wow, look at those cards. Look at the matchup. The Roadrunner Racing team flexing the boss frame, the purple boss frame. Arlo, what do you make of this?
Yeah, so this is the first time that we're seeing the boss frame in action. We actually previewed it on our last podcast, but now we see it going live. And the bosses aren't obligated to use the purple frame. They have access to all the frames available in the toolkit, but they're Roadrunner racers opting for the boss purple, showing off some celestial traits, some rare traits with the Ruby Slipper. I have not read the lore yet for Roadrunner Racing, so it'll be interesting to see how they've put this all together. But it's not an easy task here. By the time we make it to the final 8, all us as bosses are going up against battle-tested teams. So these are the best of the best. It's why Brooke, I know, has been killing himself trying to put together the perfect team.
It's like I'm literally still I'm so, guys. I said to my wife this when I was like, this is the most comfortable I've been at a significant birthdays. So usually you're like stressed out or whatever. I'm so content. There are like 2 things in my life that are stressful. One of them is pretty hard for me to kind of like avoid. It's just a long-term thing. And the other one is freaking building a set for drug receipts that's like even worthy to go up against. I mean, I know I'm going to get slaughtered. I've got a great bounty that I'm going to put on it, right? So, but I just don't want it to be a gift, like for them to be too easy. But anyway,
Right.
So yeah, that's my stress. I'm literally doing that, by the way, while you were talking, because this is like stressing me. I was just looking at the 4 sets that I've tried to create, and none of them are good enough yet. Accept my fucking offers, people. What are you doing? Give up your fucking drug receipts now.
No, unfortunately, the word is out, and everybody's hodling their receipts these days. They're getting harder and harder to buy. Our floor gets thinner and thinner and thinner. So
my offers are generally now like 300%, 400% over for whatever it is. He's well over. Anyways, okay. I got to get serious. Like I've got to build a set in the next hour, or just put up some stupid offers, right?
So,
what if
to clarify some details about the boss round, right? So the bosses cannot knock anyone out of the tournament. It's just a bonus round for everyone that's made it to the final 8, and it gives each of those 8, final 8 competitors a chance to earn a prize. If you defeat the boss in your bonus round, you pick up a bounty that's put up by the boss. If you do not defeat the boss, if the boss defeats you, you stay in the tournament. You still go on to the next round. You face your competitor in the quarterfinals. But the bounty that had been put up moves into the main prize purse. It goes into the Drug Wars prize vault, and it will be redistributed whether to the grand prize winner or to the runner-up.
Oh, that's good. So all the remaining people are going to propaganda for the boss. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you want it to come to you. That's good. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be getting them to propaganda for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's the strategy.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So there it is, the first boss battle matchup, and I can already see in the comments that the Roadrunner Racing crew, very popular team, very popular bunch of dudes and dudettes throughout the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So there's people already screaming their loyalties out. So it's not going to be an easy fight.
Yeah.
On
part of my birthday yesterday, I had lunch with Jeff McDonald, and like what's happening now and how far ahead those guys are. They've been kind of told to slow down. They're building these incredible kind of games and space environments. And now I also had some kind of I did one of my speeches in Discord about people building their own entities, right? That's what really needs to happen. People were saying, how can I work for non-fungible labs or, work for us? And the better opportunity is to build your own thing that kind of lives and grows. And Roadrunner Racing, I got quite a few messages about Roadrunner Racing. Like, it's clear that it's a brand that's starting to be built, a really strong brand in the ecosystem, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Very, very cool.
They're definitely one of the stronger sub-brands that has emerged so far. And yeah, look, I was on a Spaces with them not long ago. They're building a race car IRL as well. The entire community is super pumped and behind them on that. So,
yeah, one of the things to get an understanding of, guys, when we build these objects, right? So say Adam builds a car and Roadrunner then gets to adapt the car. But the incredible part about open source and then these objects is Roadrunner can build their own track without any collusion at all with Adam. They can build an entire game and then bring cars into that. And 100%. So it's a sense that when we talk about, and this is where I was going to do, it's just you triggered it with the sub-brand concept, which is something that I kind of started out with. The further I get into it, the more I understand that these things will start to grow and there'll be brands within us that will grow bigger than the entire ecosystem.
Yeah,
Right? If they do a
I really
great
believe
job.
that. Yeah, I really
Build their own
believe that
games,
there's.
their own tracks, their own
Yeah.
cars,
I mean,
everything.
you look at something like Angel Baby, right? I mean, Angel Baby has taken the IP and pushed it into a whole new space,
Yep.
and is pioneering the
Yep.
kind of ecosystem in breaking completely new ground, and that
Yep,
is
Hume-
so
Hume
fucking
is-
cool. You know,
Hume is an $80 million US dollar company now already.
Yeah,
$80
already.
million company.
and didn't exist a year ago. So you know, the opportunities aren't just there; they're being screamed out for. There's so many people that are looking for something in this space to latch onto and get behind. So yeah, the opportunity is there, and it's now. And Roadrunner Racing are definitely doing an incredible job of taking advantage of that opportunity. And yes, I can obviously say we strongly recommend everybody get involved in that space. Okay, so good luck to Roadrunner Racing. One last time for those of you who really want to soak it up. Good luck to Roadrunner Racing playing Serengeti out of here. Two very, very, very similar cards. So it will really come down to propaganda and team support more than the curation, although nobody will know what the Roadrunner Racing team lore is unless they publish it until the actual battles go live in the battle arena. So we've done that on purpose. We want to really make the boss round something that people are super excited to jump in and see and get behind. So yeah, we're not releasing anything other than a glimpse of the front of the card prior to the actual battle itself. All right, let's have a look at boss battle match number 2. Who is the boss? Oh, I can only let Mr. Arlo Eisenberg talk through this one.
Dang it. I mean, I guess there were no easy matchups here. It's funny because I hadn't even looked yet to see who I was matched up against. So I'm up against Freed from Addiction. Very cool. We both have like played into the purple color palette here, so I don't even get that much of a bump or an advantage from using the purple frame. Freed from Addiction, always the clever competitor has mitigated or nullified my purple advantage here by using the purple color palette himself, probably even better than I did it. But anyone who's faced from Freed from Addiction knows what an impossible task it is. It's such a positive message. It's hard to vote against. I'm going the creative route. I've been, much like Brooke has been obsessing over putting together the perfect set of NFTs. I've been obsessing over my lore, trying to find the perfect wording. And I'm just gonna have to go on the strength of my propaganda and the lore and the team that I put together. But I'm definitely up against a very formidable competitor here.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. I can't wait to read that lore, Arlo.
Yeah, and you'll feel what I felt. You'll feel what I feel, which is
don't read the Freed from Addiction lore.
Yeah, definitely don't, because it's impossible, right? Like I went up against Freed from Addiction, and I came to the moment where I had to vote against them clearly because I'm voting for my own team, no matter what. But you feel guilty. You feel like, fuck, I can't vote against these guys, right?
Yeah.
The psychology behind that team is so clever.
And you know what else is Freed from Addiction is a really persistent and prolific propagandist. I mean, for every round, he's getting out a lot of propaganda. So just on every front, it's a really tough competitor to go up against.
Yeah, some
Awesome.
Some hard hitting, emotionally challenging propaganda as well, which makes it that much more memorable. It's very hard to kind of very hard battle you've got against ahead of you. So one more time for those who might have missed it or want to just have another look. And what's interesting, I think, is both these boss battle matchups, the card curation is really, really similar. I mean, in the previous one, you can see here that it's almost identical, right? These two cards are so closely, curated. And then again, in this boss battle matchup, similar use of colors, similar use of that, the diagonal placement. It's going to be, I wonder if that's going to be a theme as we move through these boss rounds, if we're going to see more of that.
It's also got some angel and devil kind of symmetry going on here between the two cards. Go to the other one though. because you said how similar these two are, and it's true. I'm gonna take a dig at Roadrunner Racing, but
Do it.
it almost looks like a before and after. It looks like Serengeti Alley here has finished the idea that Roadrunner Racing started, right?
Ooh.
Like what they were trying to do.
Wait, how so? What are you saying? Why?
It just looks like Serengeti out of here. It looks a little more polished. It looks like the concept is sort of like completed. It looks like
I
Roadrunner
feel
Racing.
that. So, okay, well, there you go. So we know what Arlo's.
Pledge
where
your
Arlo's going.
allegiance live on camera.
I haven't seen the
Whoa.
I feel like since it's a boss battle, it doesn't really matter that much who we take a dig at. No one's getting knocked out of the tournament, so I
Yeah.
think there's a little more room for fun and criticism there.
Yeah, good.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, well, you're going to need to with mine because again, there's been a lot of build up for mine. But and Trevor, will we see mine tomorrow? Is that right?
It's a really good question.
When do I need to get this? It's at my office.
I think we've given you a little bit more breathing room, Brooke. I think we pushed your battle out to round 3 of the 4.
Okay, that's good. That's good because I'm
yeah.
shitting myself here. I'm looking at my 4 cards that I put together, and a couple of them are missing. Like I've got 4 concepts. I'm probably going to end up doing the same one that like I wanted to at the start, but we'll see.
First instinct's usually right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the boss battles, this is a reminder to everybody that's tuned in or is watching the restream. The boss rounds are only 24 hours in length, and they'll be running 2 at a time. So we've just seen the first kind of boss battle round matchup, and just as a reminder, we're taking a break while we queue all of this up into the back end of the battle arena. So every time we start a new round, there's a fair bit of dev work that needs to happen to line everything up. So we take a 24-hour break, which is timed perfectly because I'm on a plane tomorrow. This time tomorrow I'll be on a plane, heading back to the land of the long white cloud and leaving Australia in the rearview mirror. But yes, we take a 24-hour break, come back to it, and then we have the first 24-hour round of the boss battle. So on that recap, you will see, or day after tomorrow, you'll see what the next boss battle round looks like.
I'm going with the first set. I know that's what people were wondering. The very first set that I ever built, the very first set that like when we were doing the test frames, I think I'm going to go with that. I'm going to rely on
when we were minting and immediately after mint, Brooke, you probably before anyone else identified kind of traits that you liked and started collecting traits. And you were the first one that started collecting the tabbies with corpse paint. But now I think after having seen most of us would have guessed, oh yeah, Brooke's going to put together, a killer tabby corpse paint team. But then I think after seeing the competition, I think you saw that corpse paint was probably overrepresented. And I think that made you want to try and come up with something else. But if anyone can put together a great tabby corpse paint team, it's you. I'm still curious to see what you're going to settle on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Listen, I'm just going to rely on exceptional propaganda is what I'm going to do. And whoever I go up against, I'm really sorry. I'm going to put up a really good prize, and then you won't get. It's going to be like it's sad because you'll be like, oh, there's an amazing prize. We're going to tell people what the prize is, right?
Yeah,
we will, but not. But once the battles go live, so we're holding back the announcement of what they're fighting for until we launch the battle. So on the next recap, those battles will have just been launched, and we will tell everybody what they're fighting for.
Okay, so if you time it right, and I'm drunk, then it's going to be an amazing.
It could be a massive prize.
It could be a great.
So
prize.
I'm not sure that 8 a.m. New Zealand time is the most appropriate drunk time for you, Brooke. Although anything's possible.
Guys, I've got this is a significant birthday. The next 3 days, I'm going to be drunk. Like there are plans to be drunk for a long time for the next 2 days. So it's a great time to be hitting it up. And, I'll try to think of something.
Well, if you've been on a 3-day bender, then there's a very good chance that your prize might become really significant at the end of a 3-day bender. So
yeah, I've got an idea for a prize now.
You can buy Brooke Howard Smith birthday drinks on the link in the comments below, and we'll make sure that he stays stoked for the entire weekend. Okay, here we go.
Bildo's saying he wants to go. Bildo's saying he wants to go up against me. I don't think you do because
You don't want to shout it out. What are you calling? Are you crazy?
Well, no. I mean, I just think it'll be very hard. It's going to be very hard. Like I would like to. I'm going to talk myself up right now. Beloved is the phrase that I'd have for me. The term I'd have for me. Beloved.
Yeah. I mean,
20
But so the deal is, Brooke, even if you do defeat whoever you go up against in the boss round, it actually doesn't mean that they don't get the prize. It just means that they've lost one opportunity to get it. They still have the opportunity to go on and win and claim it as
right.
as
But you don't want to go up against me in the boss round specifically because if you went up against someone soft, you get both opportunities, right? I mean, no one's going to beat me in the boss round, so why would my prize is definitely going through. Say if you went up against someone soft, like say Arlo in the boss round, then you're going to guarantee get the prize and then have an opportunity to get my prize in the next round, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not restricted to just corpse paint tabbies. I actually you saw my card. The reason I was able to put together kind of like a creatively curated card, is because I'm a kingpin and I have a lot of really interesting tokens in my collection.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways, it's great.
okay.
It'd
So
be really interesting to see. Let's just do a little side one after. It'd be cool. It'd be like a popularity contest. We'll do.
There will be a battle of the bosses after.
the Battle of the Bosses is coming.
Oh, is it?
Yes. At the end of everything, bosses against bosses, just for ultimate bragging rights, and just to see who is the most popular.
Yeah, let's put
in
something awesome up for that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Buys winner in Santorini.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so just to make sure that everybody gets onto the same page before we drop the final thing of the recap. What an exciting recap this has been. Okay, so we all know that Roadrun Racing, brought to you by Atom Car Club, are a boss. We know that Arlo is obviously a boss. Brooke has been non-stop talking about himself being a boss. We know that Tyler Shields is a boss. We also know that Crypto Walkers, we found out that Crypto Walkers was a boss yesterday on the show, which just leaves 3 more. One of those 3 we have already mentioned in a previous podcast. So if you go back to our last podcast, you'll know who that other boss is. And then of the final 2 that haven't been doxed, and if you're following still, you're doing well. The final boss one of the final 2 bosses to be announced is this particular person here. I'm deliberately pausing for effect.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
working?
No,
He's producing and hosting. Aha.
Board Elon is joining the Drug Wars. Ladies and gentlemen,
Very cool.
that is going to be a very interesting injection into the competition, I think. We will be seeing and hearing from Mr. Board Elon in very, very near future, but he is footing a team in the Mighty Drug Wars, and someone will get to go up against Board Elon.
Yeah, and Board Elon's got 1.7 million followers on Twitter. Obviously, for a long time, people thought that Board Elon was Elon Musk. Elon Musk will sometimes kind of like communicate with Board Elon. He's a big part of the community, and it's awesome to have him in the Drug Wars as a boss. Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to go up against somebody with 1.7 million followers, but not impossible. Not impossible. Not impossible.
Okay, brilliant, guys. That is
Good
great
luck.
work. And Trevor, well done.
Yes,
Well
sorry
done.
about the
No.
the previous 38 minutes and 49 seconds, but right now I feel like I'm ready to go. Should we start again?
We should start. Let's get this podcast underway. We're ready to
Should
go?
we bring Acro up again for the final frame, just so that everybody gets a look at how we can finish, how we go out, how we came in? Okay, thank you to everybody that joined us on the show. Jerry X101, nice to see you. Lander,
Lander's
nicely
in
as
there.
always. Bildo Green is in the house. Always pleasure to see them. I think there was some Metaverse D action, DDAT. Shout out to all of you guys. Thank you for joining us on the show, and we hope you enjoy the next round that will kick off in about 24 hours' time when we see the first boss matches go down. So good luck to all of those who are
Good
playing.
luck, Arlo, in your boss match. Good luck, Roadrunner
Thank
Racing.
you. Thank you.
Thanks for putting up prizes to all the bosses. And welcome to the Drug Wars board, Elon. Have a great day.
Elon. Okay, everybody. Bye for now. Happy birthday, Brookie. See you later, mate.
Happy
Enjoy your
birthday, bro.
weekend.
This is 7 November, Roger, stand by. And all units, this is 7 November Golf, my unit Alpha, Echo, Echo Alpha out in here.
We at war.